How you guys doing out there at Scaradise? It's a bittersweet moment up here at Scaradise, isn't it? Because we have great people coming out here in just a second, but it is the final panel of Scaradise, October 2025. Are you guys sad about that? But are you also excited about that? But are you also sad about that? But are you also really, really excited about that? But are you also really sad about that? But are you also really, really excited about that? Keep that energy, be really, really excited because we've got 4 amazing guests from Daredevil coming up right now. First up, we got the one, the only Elden Henson! Next up, we've got Deborah Ann Woll! Next up, Wilson Bethel! And last but not least, Ayelet Zurer! Ayelet, did I get your name right?
You did.
Yes! Yes. All right, so how are you guys enjoying your time at Scaradise? I know for each one of you, this is your first time here. What do you guys think about this fine establishment we got going on here?
It was great. We were just asking what this place is, because we didn't fill all the seats, as Wilson said.
So it's a fairground, so they'll have times they may have a rodeo here or something like that. But
so we're the animals, I guess.
That's right. Well, there are wolves and owls and kangaroos and stuff like that.
And actors.
That's right, and actors too. Aren't we all the same? Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. So Daredevil Born Again, for those of you that don't know, was actually saved, as odd as it sounds, it was actually saved by the writer's strike. And you might think, oh, writer's strike equals bad. But that actually was something that actually ended up working out for Daredevil Born Again. For those that don't know, they went back and looked at what it was, and they rewrote, recasted, and by doing that recast, allowed some of these fine individuals to make their way into the show. So what did you guys think about the fact that when they went back and recast it, redid it, and got you into the script?
Well, I was happy, obviously. Yeah, I also think that I don't know. I don't know anything about anything, but it felt like it really had a lot to do with support from the fans and stuff like that. So I felt really grateful in that regard.
But then when you were like, dude, I'm in the script. Wait, what in the heck? Why am I only in this episode?
We have no spoilers. What happened?
Wilson hasn't seen it yet.
He's kind of seen it. Pretty sure he saw it.
There, dude. Pretty close.
So how thankful are you otherwise up here about being able to be in this version of Born Again? It's got a different feel, a different tone than the original Daredevil series. How do you feel about the way that they've gone ahead and portrayed all your characters in this new series?
I think they actually did try really hard to keep true to the essence of who each of us were. I mean, I think, yes, they did some sort of restructuring, and so there was some switches that had to happen, but I think the idea has always been to now make this a continuation of what we all built, 11 years ago now. So it was really great to be back, and usually that doesn't happen. When a show ends, you don't get to come back to that character, so it's cool to see them in a totally different part of their life. It was fun.
And to that point, I think one of the things that's special about this show too is these characters are constantly evolving, so that, on the one hand, we got to come back and continue doing the show and continue with these characters who, we all already had existing relationships with. But then we also get to explore them in really cool new ways. In Elden's case, that's in dead ways, but I mean, other people's ways that...
Well, I think also too, just to sort of piggyback on that, I think that one of the best things about the show is that there's these characters that have existed for a really long time, and we're sort of the ones that are lucky enough to be here right now to sort of channel those characters, but these characters will still be around long after we're gone, and I think that's kind of the really, for me, the cool thing about the show.
Yeah, and also time passed, and we matured a little bit, and the characters matured a little bit, and deepened in some ways. I feel like, at least for me, I feel like Vanessa had become somebody a little different.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, how about Vanessa in season 1 of Born Again? Fucking queen pin.
I'm telling you, your character is actually one of my favorite ones because you have Kingpin, who's maybe he's trying to turn a corner and be a good guy, but then you're like, no, listen, I'm the boss around here. This is how the business is gonna run. And you see Vincent kind of have to play a beta role at times, and it's so interesting seeing Kingpin be the beta to you. How was your relationship with him in that alpha beta struggle that you guys have? It plays out so well on screen.
You cannot be better to Vincent D'Onofrio. You can't. First of all, I love spending time with him as an actor. I think he's phenomenal. And I have such deep respect for his, personality, who he is as an actor and also as a human being. I thought it was really interesting the way they started the show and how it sort of evolved into what she became. I have to say that a lot of people come to me and they say, you guys came and you said, oh, I didn't like her because she was like blah blah blah, she's a villain, and some people said that they see her as someone who truly believes that she's doing good, and I think she does, because I think what she does not for power, but for love, to protect everything she loves, and I think that's actually a beautiful part of her.
Do you feel like without Vanessa that maybe he would have been able to stay on the straight and narrow, and you kind of pulled him back into the darkened business?
I think he has a desire that she doesn't necessarily have. He has desire for power, and she has intrigue. I mean, she's intrigued by power, but she doesn't necessarily have to have it. But once he does, she will do anything for him. She's really loyal in that way, I feel like.
So Wilson, there is a lot of intricate fight martial arts scenes, especially in episode 1, where there's a lot of violence, a lot of blood. Take us through how much you got to be involved with that with your stunt doubles. Did you have any chance to be involved in any way, or was it always just somebody else coming in with the black belt martial arts?
No, one of the things that's amazing about working on this show is they involve us both creatively in the sort of planning process to a certain degree of these fight scenes. We're working closely with an amazing stunt team in their what's called the previs phase, when they're sort of choreographing the fight before they shoot it. And they shoot the whole fight and it looks amazing, and then they bring it to you and they say, okay, here's what we got. Do you have any thoughts on it? And so you get to sort of weigh in and say, oh, I think here would be cool if maybe we did this, and this doesn't look exactly like whatever. Anyway, so we get to be involved in it at that stage. And then when it comes time to, and then we go into a rehearsal phase ourselves, where we're rehearsing as many of the stunts as we feel comfortable doing. And that process can last a few weeks. And that's super fun. You get to hang out with a bunch of stunt guys who are way more badass than you are, and they teach you a lot of things. And then when you are shooting it, you basically they let you do what you feel comfortable doing, with some exceptions. But I did a fair amount of the stunt work for that big sequence at the top of the first episode, and obviously Charlie does a bunch of his stunt work, and it's one of the things that really makes this show special, is that it's not just like actors handing the batons off to whoever to take care of the work. I think we all, Deborah too, we all like to be involved in the stunt process as much as possible.
All right, good stuff. So I've got a couple of personal questions now for Deborah and Eldon. So Eldon, we talked about this a little bit in the green room when you first got here. So when I told my youngest that you were going to be at this show, she was like, "Oh, cool! The guy from Mighty Ducks and the guy from Hunger Games." I was like, "Yeah, the guy from Idle Hands and the guy from Butterfly Effect." So in saying that, you've had the privilege, the honor to be a part of some massive franchises in your career. What is your appreciation, your respect, knowing, holy crap, I can go back and look at this scroll that I have of things that I've done, and there is A-list franchise after A-list franchise after monumental movie that's a part of your career?
Well, thanks for saying that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You get a little bit older and you just have kids, and you kind of start thinking about things in a different way. And I don't know, I just kind of look back on all of it and feel really grateful that I feel like I had a wide variety of experiences. And I feel like every job was special in its own way. And I don't know, but I'm also like a crazy person too. And I like, when I was young, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do this as a kid, and then I'm gonna get older and get a real job or, do something important. And then I didn't. So then I kind of feel like, dang, I kind of failed on that one, you know what I mean? But it's just like
I think a lot of people here, Elden, think you made the right choice.
Yeah. I mean,
Did Elden make the right choice, everybody?
I appreciate that, but the truth is like, I was a child actor, so I'm totally uneducated. I'm really qualified for a lot of other things.
So Deborah, we talked about this as well. One of the things I think was really neat when I was just going in looking at things you guys have done in your careers has nothing to do with your career. But if you guys go online, Deborah loves Dungeons and Dragons and DMing in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, that's absolutely part of my career. It's been a whole new thing. Yeah.
Well, if you go up and you look, there's a video where she's teaching John Bernthal, Punisher, all about Dungeons and Dragons, and he even says in there, I have no idea what this is. So why don't you talk a little bit about how that experience was, taking this guy that had absolutely no clue and making it fun for him, and how Dungeons and Dragons plays a part in your actual career?
Well, it's so interesting when people ask me about this, because it did, that clip of me teaching John to play D&D, that like 10-minute thing went viral, and everyone was really excited about it, and that's so great. But it's part of like a 3-hour-long interview where I was extraordinarily vulnerable and like cried 5 times, and it was like, so people keep bringing it up, and I'm like, oh, you have not seen that whole interview, have you? But it was a tough interview. We had a really long thing, and then as we got to the end, we started talking about the things that like light us up, that bring us joy, and D&D is something that absolutely has always done that for me. I think anyone who's a creative, anyone who loves stories, and frankly, really anyone, like you all already know how to play D&D. It is just an imagination game. You did it when you played Ninja Turtles in the play yard when you were a kid. And yeah, my favorite thing in the world is to introduce new players to D&D, because I think they're not jaded by kind of the idea of what D&D is. So John was great, and when I ran him through that, he asked questions that most D&D players would never ask. He was like, well, what do I know about that? And like, do I have a bow? And it was just interesting. And so I like that as a sort of example of how you can introduce people to the game, because it can be intimidating. These 300-page books that can be kind of scary. And I always say, no, just run someone through an imagination game. That's really what this is. And I'm so glad that it resonated with people.
All right, so we can talk about stuff till the cows come home up here, but I absolutely know that there's a bunch of you guys out there that have got questions, so we're going to try this because it's the last panel of the show. We're just going to have the open mic up here, so if you've got a question, come up to the open mic. If it looks like there's going to be too many people, I might cut the line. Stuff might come up to the end of the line, just because we want to make sure we get through. Okay, so if you're standing up right now, good. If you're not standing up, stay sitting down. Steph, definitely come on over and go to the end of the line, so that way people know if they see the person that looks just like me, but is 1/3 my size, then she's the end of the line, because we want to make sure every question has an opportunity to actually get answered and not just be, what's your favorite color? Brown. What's your favorite car? A Jetta. All right, so front of the line, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Barbara. I have a question for all of you. Is there another franchise that you would like to be in? And if so, which character, if it exists, or would you make up your own?
I guess I'd like to be part of the Dungeons and Dragons franchise. I auditioned for that movie and I didn't get in. But yeah, if they do more, I'd love to be a part of it.
Deborah mentioned it, but I was a big Ninja Turtle fan when I was a kid, so I would for sure be in the Ninja Turtles, yeah. And I think I could be the party dude. I think I could Michelangelo it up. Sure.
For me, do you know that book, The Never Ending Story?
Oh yeah.
Remember they made it a bunch of years back. I think they need to make it again. I think it's time. I wouldn't mind being something there. I'll take anything.
Eldon's like, I've been in every franchise. I don't need to be in anymore.
I don't want to hurt any other franchise's feelings.
Good question. Thank you so much. All right, next up, what's the name and what's the question?
Hello, my name is Charlie. My question is, do you guys have a favorite memory from filming Daredevil or Daredevil Born Again?
Somebody asked me this earlier today, so I have an answer sort of fresh in my mind, which is just the first day coming back onto set of Born Again when I had been away from the show for 6 or 7 years or whatever, was a very special moment in the sense of just being reunited with these guys and just feeling so excited to have the band back together, which is a very special feeling.
I think for me, just shooting in New York is like it's always a part of my memories. It's not easy to shoot there. It's expensive to shoot there. So like being that we got to shoot there was incredible. So that was
I have so many great memories. Today I'll go with like my very first day. I had literally 48 hours between the job I had before Daredevil and Daredevil. So I wrapped at 4 a.m. in the morning, went home, packed, was on a plane that night to do the red eye. I was on set in the morning getting my hair dyed blonde so that I could shoot that night. And I think the first thing is I was getting attacked in a prison cell, so it's immediately right in, and I don't know, just feeling lucky and nervous and excited. And then I think the very next day was the interrogation scene with you and Charlie, and that, to me, that's when I knew what this job was going to be, was that scene with the three of us, because I knew the show was going to be the three of us as a team, kind of making up that side of the story. And once I knew Eldon and Charlie were cool, I knew it was going to be a good job.
All right, good stuff. Thank you for that question. All right, next up, how you doing there? What's your name?
My name's Zero. My question's for Wilson. I heard that you improvised the arm slap on the rooftop. What do you think Dex's mindset was on that rooftop and just Born Again in general? Because he's very different now than he was in season 3.
Yeah, the arm slap was improvised. I think I meant to get him on the face, but I only got it as far as the arm. But yeah, I think the mentality. Look, man, Dex Bullseye. He's a weirdo, dude. But he's a lot of fun to play, and one of the things that I think makes the character particularly exciting for me and a whole lot of fun is that his mentality in a given scene and a given moment can be really quite different depending on where he's at. So yeah, in Born Again, he's coming off of this crazy situation where he's in, a psych ward, was super doped up and all this stuff, and God bless my friend here who busted me out.
Sorry.
By the time he's on, when he's on that rooftop, I think he's in a period of being a little lost, on the one hand, he's just trying to get his feet back under him. He's essentially been, he's in a quid pro quo situation where he's basically been told he has to wreak some havoc, and yet part of him also, I think, does genuinely enjoy wreaking havoc because he's good at it and he knows he's good at it. So I don't know. I hope that's an answer.
How freaking good was he in that scene? It was a good day.
Good stuff. Thank you, Zero. All right, next up, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Kat.
Kat, what's your question?
My question's for Deborah. So we kind of know that Karen has a tendency towards the morally gray, maybe because of her own, like, trying to rationalize her own violent tendencies.
Yes.
But my question is, you as Deborah Ann Woll, like, what's your favorite, like, bad guy or, like, anti-hero that you sympathize with, or just, like, really, like, if you're, all of you are welcome to, like, answer. Who's your favorite bad guy?
So I love Maleficent, I think. So Sleeping Beauty was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up as a kid. And I know there's something, she's so terrifying, but also feminine, right? Like there's a little bit of that, like, how do you keep who you are and still add in these other elements? So I don't know, she always terrified me, but I also was like really like kind of in love with her, and I was really into her, and I don't know. I don't know if I have a better answer than that, but that is the first one coming to mind. She's kind of amazing, yeah.
I think I probably got 3 favorite bad guys. Heath Ledger Joker, for sure. Ursula from Little Mermaid, terrifying. And Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men. Those are my goats.
Good stuff. All right, thank you so much. All right, coming up here next. What's your name on that?
My name is John.
John, who's your question for? What's your question?
No, I'm not coming back.
Coming up close to the microphone.
I know. But I was curious if you guys have all known about the comic where you fake your death, and if you guys know about that, if you know anything about implementing that into the next season at all, even if you're not coming back.
I don't know what you're talking about, but a lot of people have brought it up to me. I can only tell you what they told me, and like from the beginning, they were pretty clear that he's not coming back. You know? But it's funny, you know, the more I say it, the more people don't believe me. So I honestly don't know what to say at this point. You know, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm out of the loop, so I don't know. Sorry, that's a terrible answer, man. I apologize.
I know that you auditioned for Captain America. How do you think it would have been if you had gotten that role? What do you think we'd be right now?
He asked me, I auditioned for Captain America a long time ago, and what my version of Captain America would have been like. He would have been a little more psychotic, I guess.
Good stuff. All right, man. Thank you so much. All right, next up, feel free to bend the mic down so you can talk to him.
A little down there.
It's all good. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Sammy.
And Sammy, who's your question for? What's your question?
It's for everyone, actually. I wanted to ask you guys, because it's probably like my favorite thing about characters. What kind of music do you think all of your characters listen to? Like, what's on, like, what, I guess, musicians are on whose playlist? Like, is Foggy listening to Britney Spears? Like,
Oh, dang, Foggy, she did that to you, man.
Like, girly pop
Foggy
music.
loves
like,
Britney Spears.
I know. Like, for
Of
each
course.
person, like, what musician do you think they would be into? Like, what's on their playlist?
Karen doesn't have time for music. She has to save the world. The only reason why I can't answer that question is because I, Deborah, am not a music person, so I wouldn't even know how to reference that, which means that Karen is not a music person. I know a little bit of classical, so sometimes that comes out for me, but yeah, I actually genuinely think Karen is like, I have stuff to do, right? Like, there is no passive entertainment happening. She has not watched television or listened to music in like 2 decades.
I think Dex listens to like Static, like, and Ariana Grande.
I'm not sure about Vanessa, but I know that sometimes this season, which you haven't watched yet, I sometimes listen to heavy metal, which I don't normally listen to.
That's the best thing I've heard said on this panel yet. Yes!
Because underneath it all, I guess the vibration in that season is that.
I was going to say, I thought Vanessa would probably listen to like Rachmaninoff, like really angry classical music because she's so fluid in her motions.
She would, but I had to listen to heavy metal to get into the role.
Hi guys, my name is Elon. It's surreal seeing you guys. I love your show, so thank you. My quick question is that obviously the first 3 seasons were like its own kind of separate, kind of part of the MCU, kind of not. and now you guys are fully in there. So is there like a character you really want to see yourself, interact with in the future?
Oh yes, we didn't have a scene. You? Yeah, we were.
Oh, yeah.
We always say.
We always say we want a
We want a
Vanessa
scene.
Karen Page scene.
That would be really, really, really good.
Yeah.
We
Hugely.
we have dinners. We complain about that, and then we.
We do.
Great.
We have the like women of Daredevil go out and have dinner sometimes because we never get to work together, but we really like each other. So yeah, it's kind of great.
That would be really
We
awesome.
fantasize about the amazing scenes we would have. Yeah. I think next season all the boys should just go to prison.
Yeah. And we'll handle.
We'll
things.
handle everything else. Yeah, that's perfect.
Elden's like, what other characters are dead in the Marvel Universe? Who can I go talk to in the underworld?
I honestly was like, oh, that question's not for me. So I was just like, I was a little bit zoned out.
I'm waiting for the Iron Man Foggy interaction, so let's see if that ever happens.
I'd be down for that.
What about you, Wilson? Who do you think, who would you like to see interact in a mashup kind of way?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Bullseye and Hawkeye facing off would be pretty cool, and I also think that Bullseye and Punisher really needed to go crazy on each other. So those are my two votes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day.
Good stuff. And next up, how you doing? What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Dana. My question is, I love when characters make little details about them, like Foggy likes musical theater, Foggy and Dex both like baseball. So when you're getting into the headspace for your character, what are like little details like that that you're like, oh, Karen likes this, or oh, Foggy likes that?
I'll say this. I mean, I think those kinds of things are helpful when they're helpful, right? So it depends on kind of what comes up and what adds to the story. But I know for me, they wanted to put Karen on a lot of jewelry right up front, and I'm not a jewelry person, and I always find them kind of distracting, so we slowly whittled that down. But we got down to one necklace, and once we started to zero in on her backstory and where she had come from, and frankly, the death of her mother, and where kind of everything went off the rails for her. And I just decided that was her mother's necklace. And I don't think we've ever addressed it on the show. It's never been mentioned or anything like that. But when I wear it, and it was very important when we came back and Born Again, they did not have the same necklace, but we found a similar one, and now that became Penny's necklace. And, it was Penny Pages, and it, I don't know, it has a lot of meaning for me, I think, when I wear it. And there's moments in the show where I'll find myself kind of, without thinking, touching it. So yeah, I think it's things like that. It's things that hold, giving value and meaning to things are sort of the best little tidbits like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me, I just kind of was like, I sort of, there was some things that I was thinking about, but I always try to stay pretty open until like I go through the wardrobe process, because that ultimately a lot of times will start telling me more about a character, and I don't want to get too locked into any one idea before, you want to just leave yourself open for, the movie gods to intervene.
For me, it was really interesting because coming into the second Born Again, we had a new team. And for me, Vanessa was always a woman who wears dresses, never pants. I couldn't see her in a suit. And there was a real discussion and pushback towards never, ever, 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 ever wearing anything but a dress and high heels, because for me that slick look is really part of the walk, and the whole thing is this is what makes me feel her, and if I don't have that, I kind of lose it actually. So that was the thing.
Sorry, I thought I was going to get out of this one. Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing that I'm always thinking about with Dex is, obviously he's somebody, his hands are his weapon, or his hands and extremities. So I'm very conscious in a way of my hands and like dexterity, and yeah, that's it.
Well, so much.
Good stuff. Thank you. All right, next up, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi guys, my name is Quinn.
What's up, Quinn?
Yeah.
You made it.
I made it. I failed. Okay. Is there anything you guys do to cater to your childhood self? Like for me, I go to cons because I couldn't go as a kid. Is there anything like that for you at all?
I love this question. She ran it by me earlier, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a great question. I can answer first, but I think because I had a head start. So I'm a maker. I love making stuff, and so when I was a kid, you know, whether that was making stories, making art, making movies, making theater, but it was also making sweaters and clothes and building furniture and all those kinds of things. And so I do feel like when you start to focus in on the one thing you want to make, and for me it became movies, TV, theater, stories, you lose a little bit of that other stuff. So I went a long time without making things. And in the last like 10 years, I've very specifically gotten back into making things. So like I've knit a bunch of sweaters, I make almost all my own clothes now, and I'm currently working on my first like honest to God quilt. So I'm enjoying it. So yeah, so that's my thing that I do to keep my inner child happy. Yeah. It's a question. I have an Etsy shop. No.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much for that question. All right, next up, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? My name is Gabe. Big fans of you guys and the show. So as someone who's trying to learn like the art of screenwriting, was blown away with like the show's level of quality of writing. What was your reaction to reading season 1 of Daredevil, or in Wilson's case, season 3? Or if we're keeping it to Born Again, like reading season 1 of Born Again. Like, what was your gut reaction? Did you know it was a Marvel property, and you're like, okay, I know what I'm getting into? Or did you read this? It's like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for season 3 anyway, when I came in, there was a new showrunner who had taken over that year, Eric Olson, and he had such a clear vision for what that season in particular was going to look and feel like, and I just thought it was masterful, you know, like both in terms of the macro of the whole season. I just thought it was like a really remarkable piece of screenwriting, such intricate, interwoven arcs and things like that. And then obviously on a personal level, I just couldn't believe what an incredible arc I got to have in that season. And yeah, I just think, you know, it's sort of your dream as an actor. You don't know, in television, you're not given all the scripts up front, or very, very rarely. So it was an incredible thing to, you know, receive episode by episode and see like, oh my God, this character, like it's rare that your character gets better. Usually you're like, oh, this is jumping the shark. This is getting weird. But yeah, in that case, I was just like, I was stunned. It just kept getting better and richer and weirder and deeper, and it's the, you know, the best thing you could possibly hope for.
Even like thinking back to the beginning, it's hard to imagine this now, but you know, Marvel didn't really have TV shows when we started it. There wasn't streaming, right? I mean, we were the 3rd show ever on Netflix. And I remember them sending Charlie Cox and I, and probably Elden as well, around the world to like, and around the country to like explain what it was. Like you weren't gonna get DVDs in the mail anymore. You're gonna go on the computer and watch the show. Because it was that new. And so I think there really wasn't a lot to hang our head on. It felt very experimental. I kept telling people I was on this web series. And so I think all we had was this is good content. This is a good story. This film feels like a crime noir with some superhero elements, and I'm interested in how to tell that. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have signed on to it if it was just Marvel and just on that. I would want the scripts to have been as exemplary as they were.
All right, thanks a lot, man. That was a good question.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up, how you doing, man? What's the name? What's the question?
The name is Joe, and with Daredevil being a more grounded in reality superhero, he does have a rogues gallery that goes into the supernatural. Would you like to see that, especially with Ironheart just coming out recently, and having Mephisto as one of the villains that's in it?
That question is above my pay grade.
I mean, it depends how it's done, right? I mean, if it's done well, then great. I do think part of the charm and why we were all potentially attracted to this show is because it has its feet more solidly in reality. So that's why we're here. But if they're able to bring in supernatural elements that feel as grounded as the show is, then, I mean, again, we don't get to make those choices. But yeah.
I mean, as an audience, I would assume that what really works is a beautiful juxtaposition between reality and fiction. I think that the noir aspect of what we are doing works in that sense. There's really deep characters, they're well developed, the themes are really clear. I think that's what makes good writing, when a theme is clear. So if they do that, that's phenomenal.
All right, thank you so much for that question. All right, next up, what's your name and what is your question?
Hello, my name is Michelle, and I don't have a question actually. I just want to say that no matter what happens, Foggy will always be the best character in the heart, ups and soul of Daredevil.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Elden and Foggy so much, so thank you, Elden, for Foggy.
You're welcome. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. All right, next up, how you doing, man? What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Samuel, and this is a question for Wilson. How do you think Dex would work like in a team setting? Like, for example, the Thunderbolts that Marvel recently introduced. How do you think that would affect like his psyche?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know how well he plays with others, but it could certainly make for some very fun television. I'll tell you that, or a movie. I mean, the short answer is I think he would not do well, but I think it would be really fun to watch.
Or
him
it
not
could
do
be a
well.
comedy, a good comedy.
Yeah, exactly. But I loved the Thunderbolts. I thought that was great.
Thank you so much. All right, next up, how you doing? What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Mo. I was wondering if you guys had a certain childhood memory you could recreate, which one would that be?
If you had a certain childhood memory that you could recreate in Daredevil Born Again? Just in general? Okay. A certain childhood memory you could recreate, what would it be?
Me? I'm going to let someone else answer that question. I don't have the best childhood memories.
I remember when I got the role, I didn't know how to approach it. So I was looking into black and white pictures that I was looking for online. And I stumbled upon one picture of a child, like a 3-year-old, I guess, bending over and looking into a dead fish when the mouth of the fish was quite largely open. And I thought that was Vanessa. So that's the connection, I guess. It's the best I can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe some of those firsts, like, like I have a 4-year-old and I keep being like, when can I show him Jaws and Alien and Exorcist, and I have to wait for so long. I want him to stay a kid as long as possible. I know. But we're saying 10 for Jaws, but it'll probably be like 7. Because I can't wait. So maybe that, I'd love to relive the first time I got to see my favorite movie, maybe something like that.
Deborah, I don't know if you saw the end of the line. So Steph is back at the end of the line. She actually got to be on the 50th anniversary panel at San Diego Comic-Con for Jaws. So she was jumping for joy. She's like, Jaws, yes!
We love it. Best movie.
All right, that was a great question. Thank you so much. Coming up here next, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Camille. My question is for all of you. So how is the first episode of Born Again for all of you? Because I remember pausing it midway and sobbing my eyes out when Foggy died. My mom can attest for that because she heard me wailing. So how is that for all of you?
I was freezing cold. That's what I remember. It was really, really cold.
I was really sticky.
Yeah, we were sticky and cold. And then
I was covered in his fake blood. So
they were trying to, we kind of had to be in the background a lot because it was sort of supposed to look like this one long shot. So we were just outside.
Lying on the concrete,
I got
covered in
so
blood.
sick after that. That's my memory.
Yeah.
Cold.
I was just sad, and then I learned the truth, and that was even sadder.
I felt pretty good.
Hey, good question. Thank you so much. Next up, how you doing? What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Shar, and my question kind of piggybacks off of that one. I'm curious about when you're filming scenes like that, where you know it's going to be a big reaction from the fans. What is the energy on set?
Well, obviously one of the keys with that was we were trying to keep it secret, So there's a sort of a sense of, like we're all CIA agents or something, everybody's trying to play it very close to the vest. And that's maybe sort of an obvious answer, but it's definitely part of it.
It's business as usual.
I would say I felt, because of my affection for Elden and my affection for Foggy, I definitely felt like if we're going to take this step, I want to do it justice. And I want to make sure that I tell this moment in the sort of, with the specificity and weight that it deserves. So yes, I think business as usual, professional, wanting to make sure that you get it. This isn't like a jokey day. It is, because that's what being on a set is, but it isn't like a, talk right up until take kind of thing. You want to make it the best it can be, because you want to do justice to the character and your friend, as well as to the fans who are going to be really affected by it, and you want to at least give them the best version of that you can.
So, Ayelet, we'll turn this question for you just a little bit. For you, what do you think was the most emotionally charged, where you felt the energy truly heightened on set for you in season 1 of Born Again?
These things I can't say. So,
just in season 1, not in season 2, just season 1.
I know. I'm just. I feel like. I feel that it wasn't heightened emotionally so much as was one of the most fun scenes we had was the last scene in the ballroom, because of the madness of like dancing right after whatever was done. We had amazing time because all of us were together, almost all of us, for like almost. And it was really just a beautiful experience to have the whole team together almost, and like spending like 4 or 5 days together in that setting. And it was so beautiful. I mean, the set was just incredible. The lighting was incredible. Everybody was in gowns. It really felt like you were in another world. It was something else.
Excellent. I'm glad. I thought the ballroom scene would be that too, because it just felt like there was so many different emotions, so many different things going on.
Yeah, it was really
classical and classy, while also having the murderous and the insanity kind of going on at the same time.
And the two, dressed in white and red, and that theme of life and blood. It was really beautiful, on camera and off.
I love that. All right, so thank you so much for that question. All right, so we only have 3 questions left up here. All right, so next up, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Erica. So I wanted to thank you guys again for coming here. Daredevil is my favorite show. It's my comfort show. I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched it in the last 10 years. You guys got me through so many bad days. So I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys have favorite TV shows or movies?
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Probably The Princess Bride.
As you wish.
I don't know about, there's just too many movies to choose from, but I just watched, not last night, but the night before, I rewatched Angel Heart. I hadn't seen it in a really long time, and that movie's just awesome. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
I have also too many movies to choose from, but strangely lately I've been watching just before I go to bed and I fall asleep with it, which makes me wonder if I'm okay. I'm watching the 100-Foot Wave So it's like it's really intense. I tried to watch it on a flight, and the airplane was like a little shaky, and I swear to God, I almost got a heart attack because it was watching people taking 100 waves and crashing and almost dying while the plane was like, ah! So it was intense, but yeah, this for me is my latest binge.
I mean, she watches Daredevil for comfort, so
I know she
we're all on a line.
Sometimes it's good to think, no matter how bad of a day you're having, Matt Murdock is having a worse one. So thank you for that.
All right, good stuff. We got to play a little bit of speed round here for the last two questions. All right, so what's your name? What's your question, my man?
Brian, this is for Deborah. What is your all-time favorite board game, and how can you convince my wife that D&D is not just for nerdy?
I mean, D&D is not just for nerdy kids, because it's for all nerds. No, because anyone can play, and you can play it any way, right? I think there's a sense that like you have to either be into Lord of the Rings or something to get that. I'm not a fantasy person. I play D&D because I like problem solving, because I'm like a math kid. So I think there's lots of reasons to play it. My favorite board game, I mean, I have a lot of favorite board games, but honestly, right now Boarding by Fowers Brothers is my favorite independent game. It's you play airline affiliates and you have to get passengers to their destination without collecting too many points of rage, which I think is kind of a great concept. So it's a co-op game and you play with your friends. It's wonderful. So strong recommend.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Isn't it great? So you think it would be horrible. I'm telling you think it would be horrible, but you end up like an hour into this game and you're like, okay, wait, if you could reroute that person through O'Hare, then I could pick them up when they get to DFW. And you can't believe how excited you are. I promise you.
And it's always Thanksgiving Eve.
Kind of, yeah. And there's like, you can add like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take this a long time. Okay, hold on. So you can add extra cards that are like crying baby on board. People collect 2 points of rage, or like you can like adjust it. There's been a delay. This person can only fly alone. It's really fun. Anyways, I recommend. Fowers Brothers in general is a great independent game company. Check them out.
All right, good stuff. So now we have the very last question for the panels at Scaradise 2025 October. Make this the best question ever. No pressure. What do you got?
My name's Hans. My question is for Wilson. In season 3, a lot of Dex's character revolved around him having like a North Star or like an FP. Are we going to still see that in the future, maybe in season 2, or is that something he's kind of like moved past?
No, it's not. It's not something he's moved past. I mean, look, I think Dex's psyche is always on shifting sands, which means that he's always going to be looking for an anchor of some sort or another. So, you know, whether that's Julie or his therapist or Fisk. I think some version of that, there is a version of that in the season that we have most recently shot in season 2. And I think that'll always be part of him. He's somebody who is sort of desperately grasping for stability and not doing too well at finding it. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. So we're going to summon the show photographer, then I have a wrap-up question, and we're going to take the picture with everybody. So if you've never been up here on the panel stage before at Scaradise, we have to do our best horror convention summoning of the photographer. His name is Corey, so that we can take a picture with all these fine folks out here. So on the count of 3, you guys all have to use your best Scooby-Doo horror movie voice to summon Corey. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, obviously, you guys cannot tell us anything about season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. But if you want these people to be excited, what would you say is something that they should be excited about for when season 2 actually comes out in the most general of terms? Elden, this question is not for you.
I would say this. I think shooting it felt very much like a continuation of what we established in the first 3 seasons. It really feels like a coming home, and the vibe feels like that. The people that we all love are back from both the original Netflix series and from Born Again. It just feels like, like an actual finally meshing of these 2 shows in a really clean, clear way.
I think you can look forward to some of the most badass bullseye stuff you have yet to see.
Brutal. I love it. All right, so this is what's going to happen. You guys are going to give a big, huge round of applause in just a second. The 5 of us are going to go around the other side of the table. Corey's going to take the picture. So we want you guys to give the biggest, loudest Scaradise cheer that you've given all weekend for these 4 from Daredevil Born Again. Elden Henson, Deborah Ann Woll, Wilson Bethel, Ayelet Zurer. Come on now, give me a huge round of applause. Thank you guys so much for coming. We really appreciate each and every one.